All right, sales to CEO, sales to sales manager. Look, finally getting a little bit of content. Look, we got videos here, we got content, we're talking about some of the sales process, but listen, I want you to understand when we're talking about going from salesperson to sales manager, or if that's not an aspiration for you, salesperson to exceptional salesperson, look, everything I teach, everything that I'm coaching, everything I'm going over is making sure you understand that really there's a parallel between sales and sales manager. And believe it or not, sales manager, even to general manager, there's still a parallel that you always have to understand. So again, we're talking about five things you need to do if you really want to be a manager. Now look, I'm going to go through these 5 things and I can elaborate on every one thing and create 20 minutes on one. So again, I'm going to go through them in rapid fire. If you want all the information, all you have to do is check the link to the course. All this content and more is on the Sales to CEO. And again, if you like anything you hear, please comment below, subscribe, like the channel as well. So let's get right into it. So number one thing, if you want to become a manager, number one thing, these are not in chronological order. I'm just giving you the 5 things you need to do, but we'll talk about follow-up first. Look, every single salesperson hates follow-up, right? You're a salesperson, you're not in the BDC. There's a reason why you're not in the BDC, because you like to be in front of people, but you have to understand if you want to become a manager, you have to get relentless about your follow-up. In fact, in my course, Sales to Sales Management, I give you all the KPIs, the key performance indicators. I charted out every single thing from follow-up. Again, going back to the days in 95 and 97 when I was selling cars, how important it was to keep track of every single be-back, appointment no-show, phone in, did I set an appointment, every indice of write-ups and demos and needs assessment, did I get an EMI? I track every single thing as a salesperson. You should track everything as a salesperson, because not only is it good for you, but if you're going to become a manager, guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to track that stuff for the dealer. You're going to have to track that stuff for the general manager, right? Or you could be a desk manager, which there's a lot of those around the country, or you could be a true sales manager who manages the sales department, which is everything that encompasses. So you're going to have to get phenomenal at follow-up. Now, when it talked about follow-up, let's think about something for a minute. If 10 people walk in the front door, 10 people come in, 2 to 3 are closing down. That means 7 to 8 are leaving. So your greatest opportunity is not the 2 or 3 you close. We're going to get those and nail those down. But the greatest opportunity is the 7, 8, 9 that leave. Think about this. If you're talking to 10 people, 20 people, 30 people, 100 people in a month, 60 people, take 100 people in a month, literally you're knocking down 22 to 25 deals, but what's going on the other 75? You've got to be relentless, because if you're not, somebody else is. So number one, if you want to become a manager from salespersons, you've got to be phenomenal at follow-up. Number 2, you got to be multi-dimensional, right? Think about like, I love UFC and MMA. Think about, what do they have in MMA? They're not just strikers, right? There's Muay Thai, there's judo, there's grappling, there's wrestling. MMA fighters of all time incorporate all those things. As a salesperson, you've got to become multi-dimensional. In other words, if you're just waiting every single day for traffic to come to the dealership and you're not generating your own traffic, if you're not great at prospecting, if you're not great at working the service drive, if you're not phenomenal on social media, again, in my course, Sales to CEO, Sales Manager, man, there's 7, 8 videos on just like literally Facebook marketing, branding from a salesperson's perspective on how you can drive your own leads on a daily basis. If you're not really working on those things, again, it's not going to get you to the next level. We're talking about getting you from a salesperson to the next level. So you got to become multi-dimensional. The other thing is number 3 is you want to become a phenomenal closer, the best closer in the building. How do you do that? Well, I've got tons of closes and we go through a lot of that material, and we'll give you some closes here on YouTube, but I would encourage you, Automobile University, this is something that I employed when I was selling cars coming up in 95, 96, 97. Even as a manager, my car was not about music, and I'm a music lover. I mean, I think I can play guitar, but I really can't. But I will tell you this, music I love, but in my car, even to this day, even when I was a dealer principal, even when I was a general manager, I was taking the time to practice drills, study psychology, closers, preachers, teachers, motivators. I wanted this thing right here to be totally on point, ready to go. I needed to make sure I had all the words that I needed to become a great closer. I wanted to make sure that I was the best closer in the building, and you should too. And again, if you want to be a manager, you want to become a manager, you've got to be that go-to guy as a salesperson. It's a natural gravitation when you go to the desk and you become a sales manager, because once again, as a sales manager, your behind should be getting up off that desk and closing car deals. Okay, number 4, let's get our money right. What do I mean by that? As a salesperson, one of the hardest things, really at any level, sales manager, general manager, if I'm a GM and I'm trying to be a partner or buy a car dealership, I need my money right. It's hard to dream when you're in survival mode. Let me say that one more time. It's hard for you to dream and imagine when you're in survival mode. Well, what puts you in survival mode? You don't have your money right. I know when I was in the car business early in the game, I didn't have my money right. I had bills and buying things I didn't need to buy. Listen, I'm telling you, over the years of 25 years of just learning and maturing and understanding, I'm telling you today, get your money right. Make sure you're budgeting and doing the things you need to right now so you can focus on the next deal, not focus on the next car payment. Okay, and last thing is number 5 is write up. We want to write up everything. When I'm buying a dealership or I'm buying property, right, and this is fast forwarding in the Sales to CEO program, but I will tell you, we put an LOI on anything and everything I possibly like. What is an LOI? It's a letter of intent, right? When it's time and I see a deal that I like, bam, I put a letter of intent on it. I can always back out of the deal. I can always do due diligence and I can always have time. But if you like the deal, you've got to put your name on that deal and put a letter of intent. It's no different to me. On the flip side, you're the salesperson. The letter of intent is the write-up. I want you to write up every single client you possibly can. If you don't have a write-up, you don't have a deal. If there's no write-up, there's no deal. That's a guaranteed fact. No write-up, no deal. So if you pre-qualify to death and you read too far into the deal and you prevent the write-up, because you think they can't afford it or it's not going to, look, work the deal. That customer leaves, what are you going to do? You're going to get back on the phone and try to get somebody else back in front of you again. To do what? Blow them out? Work every single deal. Listen, if you want to be a sales manager in the car business, if you want to accelerate to general sales manager, finance director, if you want to go to a dealer partner or even a dealer principal one day, these are the basic fundamentals. And in every phase of the game, they mirror, they're all aligned. We're talking about going to the next level. So look, if you like what you've heard, do me a favor, do me a big favor. Click the like button, make a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. I'd love to respond to you. Subscribe to the channel, share it, let people know, get some car friends, let them know, hey, there's some good content out there. And again, if you want access to my free book, click the link that's in the description. And also if you want access to our course, Sales to CEO, Sales to Sales Manager, the link's there as well. So have a great day.